Hey there. Do you ever get confused or a little overwhelmed with the amount of letters behind somebody's name? Not really knowing what it is that they do and, their education perhaps. So that's what I really wanted to talk to you about today and give you a little bit of sense of what I do and how I do it and whatnot. As an ROHP, that's registered orthomolecular health practitioner, it is a little bit of a new one out there. So I wanted to explain a little bit about what that is and offer you some insight. So I hope you'll join me on this episode as we get a little sciencey and a little technical about what it is that I do, other than all the fun that I have. See you in there. Hey there, beautiful. I'm so glad you stopped by. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of More Than Hope podcast, where we will openly discuss how to find that wonderful, radiant, vivacious goddess that you once knew and bring her back to life. I'm Wendy, holistic nutritional consultant, and I know we're going to be best friends because I know that it takes more than just hope and the occasional carrot to reach your heart's desire. And I want to help by offering you real solutions because, after all, you're a real woman dealing with real issues in the real world. Let's face it, life can be tough sometimes. Heck, our own inner voice can be our own worst enemy, and it's hard to get out of our heads and see the reality of life. But when we have someone to turn to, someone to lean on, someone who has our backs and gets us, life can be a little easier. We smile more, we laugh more, we appreciate life more. I'm here to tell you that I am that someone. I'm on your side, and truth be known, I love you. So grab your carrot and let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to this really important and concise episode that we are going to dive in today. And I'm going to start really by trying to explain to you what health is. I mean, we hear about it all the time. We talk about it. We obsess about it. We fantasize about it. Sometimes we even just ignore it. It is one of those things that is part of who and what we are and really embedded into our psyche. So what is health? So according to my board of regulation, my regulatory board, which is the International Organization of Nutritional Consultants, the basis of good health start at a cellular level. So health is cells, tissues, and organs without residual wastes. I'm going to get into more of that later. Health is self-maintaining and self-regulating. Notice the word self, through appropriate food and drink, balance between movement and rest, restoration through sleeping and waking, regeneration through respiration, evacuation and excretion, proper relationship with nature and the environment, love of self, others, and a life force intelligence. So that's a pretty intense overview of what health is. If you get a chance and you're writing in the reviews, let me know what you think of that it sort of encompasses everything. Is this the same kind of explanation that you thought maybe your doctor might have had? I'm curious. We're all born to live in health for a long time, but most will die prematurely of disease caused by poor lifestyle habits and toxic accumulations. Toxins interfere with health by preventing the normal body functions of assimilation, which is taking in and absorbing and using nutrients and foods in your body. Circulation, so that's your blood circulation, your lymph circulation, and just how the nutrients get through the body. And then elimination through the major detoxification organs, which are the liver, the kidneys, the skin, and the lungs. So aging is the premature depletion of matter through corrosion of cells and tissues caused by acid toxins. This is getting, I know, really sciencey, but hang in with me. I'm going to explain a lot more here. We can always improve upon our current level of health and chances for a long and better life through appropriate diet and nutritional supplements, lifestyle modification, exercise, detoxification, and drainage. So those are pretty common ideas about what health is, and how we can actually maintain it, sustain it, and obtain it. It's a really cool, I don't know, to me it's cool. Again, I'm the geek. What can I say? Now, I'm going to get into some really scary statistics here. I wanted to explain to you, I think I have said to you in the past that most diseases are preventable. So this is a stat going back to 2005. So it's quite old. I mean, we're looking at 15 years here now. And these are really scary stats. So you add 15 years to that right now. Facts facing the impact of chronic disease in Canada. So again, going back to 2005, chronic diseases are a major cause, and this is the WHO saying this, I'm quoting this. Chronic diseases are the major cause of death and disability worldwide. In Canada, chronic diseases are projected to account for 89% of all deaths. Okay, that's a big one. When we're looking at 89% of all deaths that could be preventable, because chronic diseases are preventable for the most part, this is pretty scary statistics. So looking back at 2005, the projected deaths by cause, cardiovascular disease was the major one at 34%. And I'm not talking male, female, whatever. This is overall. Cancer was at 29%. And the next one after that was all other chronic diseases. So this is pretty scary. Diabetes was only about 3%. Now, when we look at diabetes as a entity onto its own, it's not really the disease itself that kills you. It is the complications as a result of the disease. And a lot of times, unfortunately, cancer can be really thrown into that category as well. Let's see. So who projects that over the next 10 years in Canada? So going into 2015, over 2 million people will die from chronic disease. Deaths from infectious disease, maternal and paternal conditions, and nutritional deficiencies combined will increase by 6%. And deaths from chronic diseases will increase by 15%. Most markedly, deaths from diabetes will increase by 44%. So even in 2005, when I said only 3% of the projected deaths were caused by diabetes, the WHO was projecting at that point that there was going to be a 15% increase of deaths as a result of diabetes, which is extremely scary, people. It's scary. And as a nurse, when I went in working in the nursing home, I related this story in the beginning in my first episode, but 95% of the diseases that the people were coming into the nursing home were possessing could have been prevented at a certain point in their lives. It was at the point in their lives, at that point, the damage had been done. The disease process had accumulated to the point of no return, basically. And although at that point it could still be helped to maintain optimal health through dietary situations and exercise and lifestyle modification and supplements and all these different things, exercise, detoxification, in the nursing home setting, it wasn't that an optimal situation, obviously, because, it is run by the government and we have to follow certain regulations by Healthcare Canada and all these different things. And again, you can hear me listen more about that situation back in my first episode for sure. But again, this is one of the reasons why I went into the preventative or the holistic end of healthcare, was because, and I'm going to start crying here, that stuff is preventable, guys. And I saw a lot of the end stage. I saw a lot of death. I saw a lot of the end stage results of the disease process through cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurological impairment, brain impairment, all these different things as a result of things that could have been changed in your life beforehand. 9 out of 10 Canadians will die of chronic disease that is largely preventable through diet, exercise, and a smoke-free lifestyle. Now, I don't really have to talk about smoking so much. This is not an issue. It is an issue, but it's not one that I really harp on too much. I live in a household with 2 smokers. Adults will be adults. Everybody knows. I don't know the addiction of smoking. I have never smoked in my life, but I do understand the addiction of it. So I'm not even going to go into that kind of situation with you guys. You know better. If you want to fix it, you know what to do. But the thing is, and my main point of this topic today is it's preventable. But how do you prevent it? That's the question. There's so much information out there nowadays. There's so much misstrued fad diets. The internet is search. I laugh because there's a meme that goes around for most professionals in the healthcare field, whereas my diploma doesn't outrate your Dr. Google search kind of situation. And because I am trained in figuring out how to get rid of the toxins in your body. I am trained to figure out what is the best type of food for you. I am trained in, okay, so again, going back to today's major topic, I have been given the designation of Registered Orthomolecular Health Practitioner, ROHP. And that is a designation that is given to me by the International Organization of Nutritional Consultants as a qualified healthcare professional. And I specialize in maintaining or restoring biochemistry and physiology to the body for optimal health and well-being. Orthomolecular health practitioners assess the unique dietary and nutritional requirements of you and utilize that full spectrum of customized natural therapies, including diet, nutritional supplements, detoxification, and drainage. Now, the detoxification and drainage end of things, I know, is a little new. Maybe it's new kind of talky talk that you might not understand at this point, but I'm going to try to give you a bit of an overview with regards to that. So I talked about what health is and a few of the scary stats that are out there. And like I said, it was going back to 2005 and we're in 2020 now. So what are the major contributors to chronic disease? Well, I think a lot of us do know, and that stems down to poor diet, lack of exercise, and smoking. But what are the solutions? Well, you just kind of throw the opposite switch to that. Fix the diet, exercise, and stop smoking. I know that sounds very simplistic, and it is, believe me, so much more complicated than that. But that is very much exactly what you need to do. So basically, what do you need to do to change your diet? Well, like I said, it's not going to happen all overnight, but you want to start taking out processed foods in your diet and incorporating unprocessed or whole foods that are usually fresh organic foods. Again, working within your budget. You want to incorporate fresh fruits, vegetables, and greens as much as possible. So you don't have to follow a guideline to know when you are taking in a lot of foods, the right amount of foods. You just get as much as you can. Looking towards whole grains, nuts and seeds, incorporating whole cold water fish, small portions of lean meat, eggs, legumes, which are dried beans, peas, lentils, and soy, filtered water as much as possible. I'm not going to say that enough. I'm probably going to do a whole podcast on water alone. Increasing fiber intake from a variety of sources. So you're going to get a lot of fiber through your whole grains. You're also going to get them through your fruits and vegetables and greens, but you want to try to make sure and be very conscious of how much you're actually taking in, especially women. So you're going to eat 60% of your food raw. So when you do that, you get a lot of really wonderful and beneficial enzymes, which are so very good for digestion. You want to try to use butter or cold pressed plant oil sparingly. No margarine, no artificial stuff at all. And again, probably going to do a whole episode on artificial foods, fake foods, Franken foods, to get the message across with that. And, trying to incorporate small quantities of fermented foods into your lives too. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, all these pickles that are home done, all these wonderful foods that can help you bring in beneficial bacteria into the gut. Again, another whole episode that's going to be probably devoted to gut issues, fermented foods, probiotics, and different things like that. You're going to want to avoid regular consumption. Now, it didn't say altogether eliminate, but you're going to want to avoid regularly foods with artificial additives. Read those labels, people. Prepare convenient foods. Again, reading the labels, that's your processed foods. Highly processed foods, again, convenience foods. You're going to try to avoid sugar, caffeine, cigarettes, alcohol, any kind of pharmaceuticals, sleeping pills, painkillers, tranquilizers, or other suppressive medications and treatments. These are all chemicals. Your body doesn't recognize them as things that are natural. And this is, again, where you go to somebody like myself with this designation who can offer you natural alternatives to these situations. So why do you need to exercise? Well, regular physical exercise increases circulation, pulmonary capacity, which stimulates metabolism, increases respiration and oxygen exchange, and balances blood sugars, encourages perspiration, and facilitates the elimination of toxins through liver, lungs, kidneys, and skin. So those are those detoxification organs that we talked about earlier. Benefits do not accumulate by exercising a lot one day and none another. So exercising moderately every day is going to be your best bet. And this is where the whole concept of more than hope and a carrot comes in, because you can't just have one carrot and expect to be healthy. You have to assimilate carrots into your life on a regular basis. It's an analogy to having healthy food all the time. So now we're going to get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty with regards to what an orthomolecular practitioner does. So I mentioned about toxins and detoxification and drainage. So what are toxins? Toxins are substances the body cannot use or process that are subsequently stored in our cells, usually in our fat cells. Toxins cause harm to the body cells, organs, and interfere with normal physiological functions. So, normal physiological functions like hormone transfer, our gut talks to our brain, the messages that go on throughout our body. This is really hindered by the amount of toxins that we have in our system. And when the messages and the communication within our body don't work properly, then we have disorder, and we have chaos, and we have potential for disease process to take hold because everything else is kind of halted. There are two types of toxins out there. There's the exogenous toxins and the endogenous toxins. So exogenous toxins are from the outside source and are generally inhaled or ingested. So all the chemicals that we take in through smoking, through chemically processed foods, through artificial and Franken foods, all the added pesticides that are out in the community, all the things that are in our house that are not good, aerosol spray, artificial smells like those plug-ins that we put in the walls or Febreze, chemicals that we put on our skin, the beauty products, all these are exogenous toxins. And they're the ones that can really make or break and make a difference in our lives because we can avoid them. Some obvious and not so obvious sources include like the polluted air, city water, cigarette smoke, alcohol, prescription drugs are considered toxic. Food additives, personal care products, household cleaners, x-rays is a big one. It really just shifts the whole cellular makeup of our body. Microwaves, standing in front of a microwave, even the way that the food is shifted molecularly. When you microwave, you use a microwave a lot and then ingest that food because the food has been altered and the body doesn't recognize it. And another big one that is really, really rampant nowadays is the electromagnetic pollution, so the EMFs of cell phones, computers, communication towers, fluorescent lighting. If you've ever worked in an office that has fluorescent lights and had persistent headaches, this is what is going on. Electric appliances as well too. So endogenous toxins come from inside the body as a result of a loss of the homeostatic defense systems of the body. When we lose that homeostatic defense system, that's basically our free radical. It's free radicals that end up running rampant through the body and causing a lot of aging process. So we get a lot of free radical damage through poor lifestyle, inadequate nutrition, suppressive medical treatments, drugs and vaccines and toxic environment and inherited genetic weaknesses. So we're going to talk all about genetics in another episode. These all interfere with natural immunity and compromise the immune system, predisposing the body to invasion from disease-promoting bacteria, fungus, viruses, and our parasites. So pretty extensive list of different things there that can really be considered toxic as well too. I am actually going to add a little bit to that list and say that we are actually inherited with a pile of we can actually inherit a pile of toxins from our parents through the generations. So something like DDT, very corrosive and toxic insecticide, I believe it was, pesticide, that was banned back in the 1950s, and yet still is being found in newborns that have never been exposed to this. It is coming through, passing through the blood placenta barrier from one generation to the next. And until we actually rid ourselves of these toxins, they will continue to thrive throughout humanity. So what do we do basically when we are looking at detoxification? We are looking at, so basically detoxification is the extracellular process of supporting our organs of elimination. So those organs, again, of elimination are the liver, the kidneys, the bowels, the lungs, and the skin. Drinking water, exercise, meditation, hydrotherapy, massage, saunas, dry skin brushing, fasting, and colonics are some of the ways to support organs in their detoxification process. Drainage is an intracellular. So extracellular detoxification is extracellular, outside of the cells. Drainage is intracellular. So that works within the cells themselves. So holding the toxin, I said earlier that toxins are held in the cells. Intracellular detoxification, allowing for the release of trapped toxins in the cells, elimination of these acidic toxins. So again, another topic I'm going to be talking about, acidity and alkalinity. So these are acidic toxins and the residual wastes, the free radicals and the waste products as a result, are facilitated by specific minerals, trace elements, and drainage remedies. So those are usually tinctures, homeopathic remedies, and the like that are used to allow for the release of these toxins in our body. It is important for the body to be able to release the toxins to stay healthy. Otherwise, the toxins continue to circulate through our body, causing and creating havoc and allowing the body to be always susceptible to that dis-ease or the disease process or generation of disease within our bodies because of a weakened immune system. So as a trained ROHP practitioner, I can assist you with that. This is, what I do. And how do you reduce toxins in the body? So you want to drink as much clean water as possible. Consume a healthy, balanced diet. Use natural body care products. Protect yourself from toxic environmental exposure. So paint fumes, car exhaust, sick buildings. So buildings that have the fluorescent lamps or the lights, asbestos, all these old things that really, really are toxic. Electromagnetic and microwave pollutions, pesticides, x-rays, petroleum-based plastics. So always looking towards your BPA-free plastics. Heavy metals, mercury, lead, only having fish every couple of weeks, because it's very rare that we can eat fish that doesn't have pollutants in them nowadays. We want to at least restrict or reduce or eliminate recreational drugs. Avoid unhealthy relationships. So this is getting into the more energetic and emotional and psychological end of who and what you are. And it is so very much important, just as important as drinking water. You're going to replace a sedentary lifestyle with moderate exercise, because, again, exercise and movement is, same as important as drinking water. Avoiding unhealthy relationships. Reducing excessive stress. Now, I'm probably going to do a whole series on stress alone, because stress is one of those major ones that we need to alleviate from our lives as much as possible. And we are going to assist the body's natural detoxification process through massage and saunas and foot baths and dry brushing and all those other things that I mentioned earlier. And again, with the help of a qualified professional that can help you, regulate all this, set up protocols, give you opportunities to peel away the layers of that onion, which is you, to get to the root cause of issues and work your way up from there. So registered orthomolecular health practitioners are scientific, evidence-based trained and nutritional professionals who can educate you about diet, lifestyle, and detoxification for optimal health and energy. We actually help to build you a healthier diet, incorporating the latest nutritional background and personalized dietary supplemental programs. I love supplements, but it's always a food first philosophy with me. Tell me, who has the best food? Who has the best diet out there? And even when you do eat as much as you can of healthy, organic, grass-fed foods, how do you know you're still getting the best that you can? As an ROHP, I can actually design an individualized nutritional program for you that represents your unique biochemistry, food sensitivities, and intolerances to help you build and maintain your wellness. I actually consider environmental pollution, metal toxicity, because I can see metal toxicity in live blood. So I'm going to do, like I said, a whole episode or two about live blood analysis. I can see microorganism imbalances and other factors that can contribute to your body's total toxic load and which can help perpetuate chronic disease. I help you to support your body's natural detoxification process and help eliminate waste and toxins that can damage your cells, tissues, and organs, and help you avoid those as a result once you eliminate them. I can actually help you with lifestyle changes that incorporate as many beneficial benefits to your life, including exercise, better cardio and lung capacity, more energy, muscle tone, posture improvement, stress relief, weight control, and mood enhancement. Again, everything that makes up who you and what you are. I am actually certified, like I said, by the International Organization of Nutritional Consultants, which is a voluntary non-profit incorporated organization founded back in 1983. So the IONC was created to assist public awareness about making the best possible scientific-based food choices for long-term health, not just a one-off, got to lose 20 pounds before a wedding coming up. This is long-term health care to help regulate. So the IONC actually helps to regulate the standards and education of its nutritional professional members, which is myself. Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. It is it is so fascinating, and I love it to death because it is the end of suffering. And I think I dove into this a little bit in my first episode, but seeing chronic disease and the end stage and the suffering and the tears and the deathbed wishes and I wasn't able to help them other than provide more medication to basically put them into a deep sleep before they passed so they wouldn't have to suffer. I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for my family, and I don't want that for anybody. I want to see a lack of that in society. And this is why I chose to face and look at and offer and provide information about preventative medicine, because it just makes sense, people. Just makes sense. Oh, my beautiful friend, how are you doing? Was that episode helpful, inspiring, empowering for your journey? I'd love to know what you thought. You can head over to iTunes, the More Than Hope podcast, and subscribe and give me a review, because this is going to help me to tailor these episodes to what you need most. Like I said, I'm here to help. In the meantime, you can find me on social media at Nutritional Solutions by Wendy on Instagram and Wendy Humphris Nutritional Solutions on Facebook. The best place to find me is at my website, though, www.whnutritionalsolutions.com. Every month, I have a theme where I give away downloadables and other great free stuff. This is happening all the time because that's what I like to do. Also, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter and other great opportunities, because if you like my podcast, you're going to love all the crazy offers I have too. Until then, know that you embody everything that is good in this world. Love yourself deeply, and the world of possibilities will open up to you. I promise. Big love always, Wendy.